Hello everyone, welcome. This is Creative Coach Lisa and I'm Lisa Fulford, and today we're going to make a card using the set Celebrate Sunflowers, and then the inspiration for the sentiment is coming from Inspired Thoughts, and we are going to use the Sending Healing Thoughts Your Way. It's going to be a Get Well card, and so we're going to make this card. And the reason why I was thinking sunflowers is because in the Midwest, the sunflower fields are open for visitors. And so what better time to make a sunflower card than now? And plus I'm in a card swap that takes you outside of your comfort zone or has you think a different way. And it was supposed to be sunflowers and a get well. So here is the card that we are going to make today, and we're going to bring in the Stamparatus to be able to make this card. But first off, Celebrate Sunflowers is in the annual catalog from May 2021 to April 2022. It's on page 17. It's $24. And then the Inspired Thoughts stamp set is on page, on page 52, and it's a new set this year. It is $19 for just a stamp set, but if you bundle it with the trees that make these beautiful cards, then the bundle is $45.75. And with celebration going on for August and September of 2021, if you purchase something that is $50 or more, then you can choose a item from the celebration brochure. There's no limit to the items that you can choose, and it goes with every $50. If you have a $100 order, you can either order a item that is $100 reward stamp set, or you can order a two $50 reward stamp sets. We also have die cuts and different things, but today we're not using any celebration items. We're just doing something that's fall, and so we will get started to make this card. I'll set this card right here so it'll still be in the view, and we will get started. I'll move these out of the way. I will bring in my Stamparatus. And so this card, it's really easy to make. I like easy cards. I like whenever they come together quite well. The first item of cardstock that we're going to need, this is Bumblebee cardstock, and it is 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. So I'll set that off here to the side. We also have another piece of Bumblebee cardstock, and it is 3 7/8 by 2.5 inches. And then we have a piece of Basic Black, and it is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. We have another piece of Basic Black, and it's a 1/2 inch wide, and it needs to be at least 3 7/8 long. I believe mine's a little bit longer, but whenever I get the card, get it put on the card, I can trim it off to the length that I need. So this here was just basically a piece of black scrap that I had. So I'm going to put that on the card, then I'll trim it down to the size that I really need. And then I'm bringing in a piece of Very Vanilla that is 3 7/8 by 5.5. So what we're going to need to do is put our Very Vanilla in the Stamparatus first. I already placed my sunflower on my Stamparatus plate, but I'll explain how I came about to place it where I did. I put the Very Vanilla down on my Stamparatus. Then I'm going to bring in my piece of Bumblebee, and I'm going to line it up on the side, the bottom, and then up against the side will automatically be lined up. I need to bring in a piece of my magnet, and FYI, keep your magnets apart because they do break once they slam together. it broke into 3 pieces. So I had been doing really well about that, but then it stuck to my cell phone, and then I moved it, and when I did, it hit the other one, and yeah, magnet pieces went flying. So anyway, back to the card. What I did was I lined it up and tried to make it as even as I could from side to side, and then just kind of put it a little bit in the middle, maybe a little bit farther down to the bottom, so that I'd have room for my sentiment at the top. And so what we're going to do is we are going to use the Bumblebee ink, and we're going to only try to ink up part of it, but I'm going to bring in my Post-it notes. I'm going to put 2 of them together, and then I'm going to slide them underneath that piece of Bumblebee cardstock. So I've got that magnet down, so I know it's in place. I would have put the Post-it notes down first, but I want to make certain that I got everything where I wanted it. So I'm going to put that down. It still seems to be lined up, and that's what I needed. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my Bumblebee ink to ink the bottom of the cardstock. So I want to make certain I'm at least halfway. But this way, if I don't get it all lined up, or I don't get everything inked up, then I can re-ink it and do it again. That's why using the Stamparatus is wonderful. So I'm going to take this, fold it down, and just lightly rub. I don't know if you guys can hear the cat in the background. He's a meowsing. And that looks pretty good, so I'm happy with the way it turned out. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to bring in my chamois, and I'm going to clean my stamp. So I'm just going to fold it up, clean that off. I'm going to close this ink for right now. We'll need it again here in a moment. Okay, so I'm going to take this away. I'm going to remove the Post-it notes and leave the very vanilla behind. Okay, so now then I'm going to bring in my Memento ink, because I'm going to use Stampin' Blends to color in the sunflower, and you need to use Memento ink. So what I'm going to do is try to go a little bit over half like I did the last time. Because if it drops down below, it'll be covered up by the Bumblebee cardstock, but I don't want to waste the ink, kind of like how I did on the plate itself, if I don't need to. So I'm going to bring this together and just slightly rub. And if you've got like an eraser, chalkboard eraser or anything like that, you can use that. I just use my back of my hand, right here on my hand. So I'm going to ink this up again. I want it to be just a little bit darker. And I was just lightly putting my Memento ink pad to it, because I don't want to get a halo if I can help it. And that looks pretty good. I like that. Alright, so I'll bring in my chamois, and I'll clean that off. Okay. I'll remove my piece. Take that out of the way. Alright, so I'm going to set this off to the side. I want that to have a chance to dry a little bit before I start doing any coloring on it. I'll set my Memento ink off to the side until we need it again. We'll bring in the other sunflower. I almost said snowflake. Alright, this piece of paper that I had on the Stamparatus will work great to bring this piece in. Alright, so now then, the reason why I didn't do this on the Stamparatus, I think it'll do just fine on just doing the stamping by hand. So you just ink it up a little bit. And then basically I'm going to fill in the spots. Okay, kind of like that, and I kind of like that. So I'll clean my stamp with my chamois. Set that off to the side. Let that dry for a moment. Okay, I'll close my ink. All right. So then now we'll bring this back. I think it's had time to dry. If you think it's still wet, you can kind of see if it's wet or not. Mine looks like it's dry. If it looks like it's wet, you can take the heat tool to it and just try to finish drying it. If the way this looks, that's fine. We're going to cover that up. So now then we will bring in our dark soft suede, our light soft suede, the dark Mango Melody, and the light Mango Melody. So I'm going to do the dark with the brush end. I like the brush end better than the other ends. I do want to put this under this because I know it'll soak through. It already started soaking through. They're really good alcohol markers. I really enjoy creating with these. I don't think they have a bad odor or anything. But they blend so nicely. So I'm going to do right here in the middle, and I don't want to have a perfect circle by no means. So I'll close that up, and I'm going to bring in my lighter one, and then I'm going to just kind of blend that out a little bit. It has a kind of a dark center anyway because of the imagery already, but I'm going to just keep blending that. And we'll give that a chance to dry, and if I think it needs more blending, I can do that here in a moment. Now I'm going to bring in the dark Mango Melody, and I'm going to just kind of follow some of the brush strokes throughout the, you don't have, I mean, with this imagery, you don't have to be precise. When you blend it out, it'll look nice. I like quick and easy things like this so that you don't have to, worry about things like that. Okay, so now then I'll bring in my light Mango Melody to do the blending. And so now I want to be a little bit more, aware of what I'm doing along the edges here on the petals. I don't want to bleed out. I mean, I guess it would look fine if you did, but I personally don't want to. So I'll just keep coloring these in, and I'm going in the direction of the petals, just so I can have a little more control over the tip of the Stampin' Blend. Okay, so then now I'll just swirl around, get up close to that down here. And you don't have to fill it in 100%. Okay, that's looking pretty good. But I'm going to come back with my dark and add a little more highlighting if I can, especially here in the center. I think it just gives it a little bit more dimension, a little more realistic. And I think the center looks pretty good. Okay, so I think that part's finished. Take that out of the way. I also forgot we were going to need a piece of 18 inches of the black and white gingham ribbon that's in the new July to December mini, I call it a holiday catalog. Okay, so we're going to start putting our card together now. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Seal. I'm going to add seal to the back of this. It's really sticky. I like that about it. So I'm going to line up my side, and then I'm going to line up the bottom. The best that I can, like that. And it looks like I have a little bit of hangover there, so I'm going to take my scissors and just try to do my best to use the card edge to remove that little sliver. Okay, put that there. All right, now then we will bring in our little black strip. And the way that Stampin' Seal works is you start and then you pull towards you. When you get to the end, you lift and you kind of like bend and lift, because then you want to break the glue runner. I'm going to put this just past. I don't want to cover up the line like this. I'm going to bring it just where it's just barely past that line, because I want a lot of this to show. Okay, and then I'm going to trim this little bit off. See, our alcohol markers bleed through. All right, so now then I am going to bring in my tweezers and bring in my ribbon. So I'm going to lift this up, and I want my ribbon to follow the line of that black cardstock. And then when I get to the center, I'm going to cross it over. And we're bringing these tweezers that when you press them, they open up, and then you let go of them and they close down. That way it keeps that tight, and then I can tie my bow. Well, maybe I can tie my bow. I can't get that piece to go through there. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I hold my finger on the knot and pull down on the tails, and then I tighten it back down. Hold my finger on the knot and pull. Tighten it. Pull the next one and tighten it. Oh man, that'll be fine. And then I release, bring in my scissors, trim off my ribbon. Okay. All right. Get these things out of the way. Now then I'm going to adhere this to my piece of basic black. So pull, whoops, and release. I think I'll put some near the ribbon. Uh-oh, I might be out. Whew. Good thing that that was my last bit of gluing. And I'm going to have about an 1/8 inch of border. Okay, so like that. I'm going to bring in my little piece of paper that I've been using. Okay. And then I have a black marker. And so I'm going to just take and do some splattering. You can go heavy, you can go light. Okay. And then I'm also going to bring in the Wink of Stella. And I'm going to splatter that too, or and it just kind of, you just press it a little bit. I don't know, I might need my bone folder. There. I think my finger was given too much. And it gives a little bit of sparkle. And then I'm going to add shimmer to the center of my sunflower and just brush up some of the petals. Okay, and now then we will bring in our Memento ink again, and our wording. Sending healing thoughts. Place that right there. Hopefully I got it straight. It's a little crooked, but I think it'll be fine. It's hard to do whenever you can't get right over the top of it and you're looking through a camera lens. Okay, so we'll move this out of the way. Bring in our card base. Basically, I've got it scored, but I want to make certain it's lined up. And then just burnish the crease. I'll bring in my dimensionals. Being it's the whole panel, I'm going to put 6 on there. Remove the backings. And I want to line this up. Like that. I have a few pieces of fraying here, and I just have a nail file that I brush those away with. And then I'm going to bring back in the bumblebee, and then our sunflower stamp. And down here at the bottom, I want to add a sunflower. And there you have it. This is our sunflower card. It's the one that I made beforehand. Here's the one that I made. And I don't know if you can oh, there you can see the shimmery color. There you go. Or the shimmer of the Winkostella. So it's a quick and easy, really cute. It kind of gives it a nice impact. It looks like that, it just continues. You colored in the sunflower and it gives it a nice pop. And if for somebody who's not feeling well, it'd be nice to receive. You can add embellishments to it if you'd like. I have some little black of these matte dots. Let's see. I could, whoops. Maybe here, I'll put one down there over that little smudge. Maybe one up here. And maybe one down there. Okay, so there we go. There is our Get Well sunflower card. And this is a spotlight. I like doing this type of technique. And I did the inside. You can write whatever message, and then depending on who you're sending it to will depend on what you would want to stamp on the inside. So I want to thank you for joining me for another video. I hope you enjoyed this. Get out your Celebrating Sunflower stamp set, and hopefully you'll give this a try. Thank you. Have a good day.